Right now here, the downhill section, we're getting a great shot from the camera above, which is on a set of wires that go right up this hill and give us a great ability to follow the rider all the way down the hill.
You see how rough and irregular these corners are here. Now we're watching Gunrita come down this descent. Really deep trenches of sand, loose corners, and the way the ground is set up, it actually falls away under your tires. So when you're coming around the corners in points, so it's really unpredictable. And Gunrita Adala is a very good bike handler, one of the better bike handlers. But even being a good bike handler, you can make a mistake, and that's what we're talking about. Is you still have to keep your bike together. There can still be crashes, and any number of things can happen.
Even in the World Cup this year, she proved that she doesn't always have to be a front runner. In Madrid, she was well back. At the start, had a bit of a problem, but managed to come back after that.
Yeah, she did Madrid. She actually was that was one of the earliest World Cups, and she was quite far back in that field. But that was a very difficult start of that race.
We'll get another idea of where she is in relationship to the other half of the field as she comes through for in here. And there's Gunrita Adala ahead.
Oh, and she has got a.
Looked like she had a mechanical.
Looked like she probably had something happen. And what it looked like is that she probably just had a chain problem. She just caught her chain, and what she has to do, you see how calm she is though. We can't see there, but it looks like she's just having to pull her chain out of her cogs a little bit, and but that costs her, that's a 10 to 15 second issue, plus the slowing down, getting off. So that will help the gap between her, and it will help Marie-Hélène, who is behind her, with that little bit of a stop and get off for Gunrita Adala.
Meanwhile, back at the start-finish area, Alison Seider came through 2:21 behind Gunrita Adala. That means that she is almost a minute behind Marie-Hélène Primont, just a little bit less than a minute. And Sabine Spitz in fourth place is just 20 seconds or 19 seconds behind Alison Seider, so she is very close.
Well, and that's what we were saying. She's been in this position before. Sabine Spitz has hunted Alison Seider down in various races, for last in 2003 it was from second place, hunted her down and passed her for the win at the World Championships, and before that at the World Championships she's hunted her down in fourth and passed her for the bronze medal. So right now 19 seconds, and I'm sure Alison Seider is getting that split and will be concerned. Now this seems to be, this is an
ongoing problem.
Well, now it seems she's getting we call it chain suck, which just means that you catch when you're making a shift on your bicycle to go into an easier gear, it actually gets stuck, and it means you have to pull it out. And it's not something that you can't fix, but this seems to be this is a reoccurring situation for her. And I think we'll probably see Marie-Hélène Primont come up behind her any time here.
Well, this is the first significant change in this race. A big problem here for Gunrita Adala with her chain, and this could cost her big time. And we talked about the things that can go wrong, and this is one of them. Back with more from the 2004 Olympics in Athens. See Gunrita Adala coming down the descent here. She is in lap number 4 of 5 and leading here this women's Olympic mountain lap number 2 at the halfway point. Once again, this is from the grandstand and most of the fans. Of course, they're all over the course here. You climb up all over the mountain here to have a look at the various parts, and people will choose that area they think is going to be the most interesting to watch.
Usually tend to be clusters of fans around anywhere they think there'll be a crash. That's always a favorite. And we have Marie-Hélène Primont coming into the stadium now. So Gunrita is leaving the stadium. Marie-Hélène is coming into the stadium. So that's around 40 seconds total, I believe.
She was up by 32 seconds after the first lap. She comes through here. It's fairly close still. So Marie-Hélène also, if she can't see her, what kind of communication do they have to be able to know where everyone is?
Well, the athletes have various levels of communication. Some do have radios and systems, earpieces, that sort of system. The Canadians are all, they all have people out on the course that are giving a lot of communication. This course is very easy for the coaches to get around with information and go from point to point, and so they're relying on information and splits as to where things are. But it's difficult because mentally, when somebody gets out of sight, it's not as much of a carrot to be chasing after. In this section, in this BMXC section here that we see Alison Sider just in as well here in the grandstand area, as it is about 40 seconds from start to finish, you can see people ahead of you in that area as well, which is it's a good point to get a little bit of a gauge on where you are.
And coming in behind Alison Sider is Sabine Spitz of Germany, still in 4th place, and she's a very dangerous rider.
Sabine Spitz is a very dangerous rider. She has last year at the World Championships, she was in 2nd place until late in the race. The last lap, she passed Alison Sider, who at that point was in the lead, and won the World Championships. She was expected to be another dominant racer in this Olympic race, and she's really good at coming from behind late in the race as well. So she's in good contact here.
And not everyone's having a great time out there.
Here we see there's Laurence Boucher, Kira Bizarro there, got caught in that crash with Marga Fulana, and they're all, this shows how important it is, that start, getting in the clear, and then it also shows the level of competence. We see the front riders, Gunrita Dalla, Marie-Hélène Permont, riding through there with ease, and yet, there are obstacles that are causing people trouble, and off your bike like that is obviously a huge time loss.
As well as the energy it takes when you take a fall, get back up, get going again, people are in your way, all these sort of things, and you drop well off the pace. You're watching Athens 2004, the Olympic Games. Alison Sider of Canada doesn't seem to be struggling, in 3rd place at this point, and Alison has a long record of finishing in the top 5 at World Championships and Olympic Games. I mean, she just seems to come up big on the big day, and this is Marie-Hélène from a little earlier.
Yes, as you said, Mark, Alison Sider has just, it's absolutely brilliant the way she manages to come up for the one-day events. And there's no one else with the exception of Thomas Frischneck on the men's side who has a comparable record. As you said, top 5 every World Championships, every Olympic Games for 13 years. And, looking to be on course for potentially another top 5, hopefully better.
Gunrita Dalla of Norway continues to lead this women's cycling race at the Olympics. She just completed the 3rd lap in 1:09:27. And just a little earlier, as we were leaving, Marie-Hélène Permont having a little bit of trouble.
This, as we talked about, you've got to make a call as when to get off if you're going to get off. And unfortunately here, you see she didn't get off quite soon enough. Tip your bike over, you lose a little bit more time. But no big problem there.
This is Gunrita Dalla of Norway, just has completed lap number 3, and she is into the single track again, and that time on the right is how far back the next competitor is, and that is Marie-Hélène Permont of Canada. She is just coming into the start-finish area.
Marie-Hélène looks to be maintaining that gap. You hear someone giving her a split in French, which is her first language. Marie-Hélène speaks very, very good English at this point, but she's much more comfortable in French, so she gets her splits in French. So she's lost a little bit more time, but still she's holding that at a pretty good gap.
She only lost 20 seconds in that lap, so still the only one who's got Gunrita Dalla really in her sights.
And she looks really good too. Here we have Alison Sider. That will be, how far back? She's probably half a minute back from Marie-Hélène Permont right now. Be interesting to see where Sabine Spitz is behind her in 4th position.
Hear those brakes squealing as she comes around that corner. Hear the coach yelling 20. So
20.